I am Dr. Olivia Lee, and today I'll be showing you a lab of dissection with my fellow colleagues, Dr. Anna Wojciechowski and Dr. Cameron Whitehead, who will be doing the voiceover, and Dr. Julian Callison, who will be doing the dissection. In today's lab, we will be showing you a basic dissection on two different organisms from the arthropods group. We will be showing you a dissection on a crayfish and a grasshopper. We will be showing you the differences in both the exterior and the interior of both organisms. One of the main differences is the fact that the grasshopper is an insect while the crayfish is a crustacean. However, first we need to know what is necessary to have a lab. What you're first going to need are gloves, goggles, paper towels, a dissection tray, a scalpel, some probes, a magnifying glass, a pair of scissors, and some tweezers. And finally, our specimens. So let's start with the crayfish.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Hello, my name is Dr. Callison and I will be dissecting on this crayfish.
And my name's Dr. Wojciechowski and I'll be the voiceover today. Here we have our crayfish that we will be dissecting today. Looking at the crayfish right away, we can see appendages such as the legs and the antennas. We can also see the arthropod's body regions, the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. Flipping the crayfish over, we can see the jointed walking legs and the swimmerets, or reproduction organs of the crayfish. Looking at the first set of swimmerets, we can tell which gender the crayfish is. If the swimmerets are long and thicker, the crayfish is a male, but if the swimmerets are shorter and more thread-like, the crayfish is a female. By looking at the crayfish we have here, we can tell that it's a female. To open up the crayfish to look at the internal structures, we're going to start from the tail end and work up until we're in between the eyes.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Once the exoskeleton is removed, the feathery-looking gills can be seen on the sides of the crayfish connected to the legs. Down towards the tail, there is a set of muscles with the intestine in between them. Moving up the crayfish, if we move the gills aside, we can see the heart that has an open circulatory system. On the sides of the heart, we find what will be gonads, which in our female crayfish are the ovaries, but in a male crayfish would be testes. Above the gonads are the digestive glands, and in between these glands is the stomach. If we cut open the stomach, we can find teeth inside. If we cut open the stomach, we can find teeth inside. If we remove the stomach from the crayfish, underneath we would be able to see a part of a nerve cord in a better specimen. Where the nerve cord connects at the anterior end, we would also be able to see the brain, and underneath the nerve cord we would be able to see the green glands, which work similarly to the kidneys. Now let's move on to our grasshopper dissection.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Hello, it is Dr. Callison again and I will be doing dissection on the grasshopper.
And I'm Dr. Whitehead. I will be doing the voiceover for this one.
Like the crayfish, the grasshopper has the same three body regions: the head, the thorax, and abdomen. From the outside of the grasshopper, we can see the jumping legs that have hooks that allow the grasshopper to climb onto plants. And we can also see the compound eyes.
Wow.
Like the crayfish, we can determine the sex of the grasshopper from the outside. Females have an ovipositor that helps them to lay eggs, whereas males do not have an ovipositor. By looking at our grasshopper, we can tell we have a male because it does not have an ovipositor. To dissect the grasshopper, it is best to first remove the legs before cutting into the grasshopper. The larger wings on the grasshopper are the forewings, which protect the smaller wings which are used by the grasshopper to move up and down. It is best to remove the wings before starting the dissection.
Underneath the wings, we can find the grasshopper's eardrums. Once we open the exoskeleton, we are ready to begin looking at the internal organs.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
The anterior end of the grasshopper is the crop, where the food is stored temporarily. In between the crop and the stomach are digestive glands. Near the bottom of the stomach are tubes that act like the kidneys for the grasshopper. Below the stomach we find the intestine. So looking at both the crayfish's and the grasshopper's internal organs, we can see many similarities between the two. into it.
I'm Dr. Wojciechowski.
I'm Dr. Colliston.
I'm Dr. Whitehead.
I'm Dr. Lee.
And this has been our arthropod dissection.
Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy.